Right, so hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me out on the bank with my little lad Joshy, and who we joined by?
Tiggery.
And Tiggery. And we're all today going to be in search of silvers on the pole. So first of all, I would like to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel, leaves the videos a like, and leaves the comments on the video each week. It really is appreciated, and especially so on the videos where I bring along either Abby or Josh, because they always sit with me and reply to the comments. So weather-wise this week, it hasn't stopped raining. There's a few showers due today, but what it's meant is the rivers are a bit of a mess. So it is like last week where we were on that stream, I do turn to silverfish, and this week we're on one of the pools on the Lymm Anglers card. So as you can see on screen now, the first thing we did when we arrived at the pool was get the ground bait ready, and you can see there Joshua mixing it together, getting his hands dirty, and that's the most important thing with kids, getting them involved. That is the mix that we mixed this morning when we first arrived. And what don't we want, Joshy?
Big lumps.
We don't want big lumps, do we? Why don't we want big lumps?
Because it overfeeds the fish.
It does, matey. So them big lumps that Joshy's got in his hand there are them lumps that we're going to remove from the ground bait by putting it through a riddle. So by just shaking that ground bait on that riddle, and if you stop now, Joshy, you can see there you've got loads of them big lumps, and what we're going to do is just push them through the riddle. You can see there already them lumps that were there before just been taken away. And you lift it up, the ground bait that you're left with is a lot more refined. So looking at the side tray, nice and simple. Most important bit, we've got Tiggerly in the side tray. Bait wise, going nice and simple. We've got some pinky there, we've got some white maggot, and then we've got that ground bait that we mixed up before. And what I'm going to do, just a little batch of it, just going to put some of the pinky in it, because that is how I'm going to feed today, just by ground bait, as you'll see in a minute. So I'm just going to mix that together, and the plan today is just to feed tiny little nuggets like that. I'm not going to loose feed to begin with, I'm just going to feed them little nuggets with a few pinkies in the swim, and then just fish over the top. So setup wise, I've got the match kit on my pole, and I've got the Dryden Aqua elastic. Got one of the small pole cups that Guru do for feeding the swim, down to a 4x16 float. So all the way down the line I've got evenly spaced shot down to a 1 pound 7 ounce hook link and a size 20 hook. Looking at the swim, I've got my 13 metre pole with me today, and I'm just going to be fishing in line with them silver birches there. So to start off with, just going to feed that little nugget of ground bait. It's got a few pinkies in it. Just going to drop that in and then just drop the rig over the top and just see what type of reaction we get. I'm going to start off positively with a white maggot on the hook, and then if we have to go to pinky on the hook, we'll do that later. So I'm just going to start off nice and accurate. Just going to drop that ball of ground bait in, and then just lower that rig over the top. It is a pool that I have fished quite a bit. I'm not expecting instant results today. There hasn't been loads of fish topping this morning, but hopefully, you know, we can attract a few into the swim and catch a few fish. So just into the first one, only small, but the most important thing early on is just to be getting bites. It's a tiny little perch. And there we go, a tiny little perch. And what we're doing at the moment with Joshua is we're just trying to get him used to touching the fishes and getting used to handling them, because you're good at catching them, aren't you? You're not too good at holding them, are you? You don't like holding them. And that second bite hasn't taken too long to come again. I think it's another little perch. Not the target species to begin with, but yeah, at the start it is just about getting bites. I haven't waited too long at all there for them bites, so just going to go over the top with a tiny little bit of pinky and just a tiny little nugget of that ground bait. Just going to try and, you know, attract some of them roach in, because they are the target species today. I'm just feeding that little bit of bait, maybe that little bit of pinky just falling through the water, because it is a clear venue. Looks like we're into the first roach, and there we go. To get a reaction so quickly, proper made up. That's a beautiful little roach. It's the first slightly better one, and having that float dotted right down, that was a subtle little lift bite, and that's the beauty of having that float really dotted down. You see all the movement. And there we go, the first slightly better roach of the session. You see a bit of rain coming down, but hopefully it does pass. I'd give 1 or 2 showers today. That's the first slightly better roach of the session. Sessions this year with Joshua are all going to be about learning, and I think one thing he's going to learn is Daddy doesn't like a brolly. But he's got my waterproofs on. You're nice and dry, matey. Yeah. You can see Joshy's nice and snug. He's got about 6 layers on and he's got me raincoat. So it's rather apt that I'm the one suffering in the rain for forgetting the brolly. But what we're going to do now, take a bit of shelter. We're going to have a look at a badger set that's at the back of the swim and having a bit of an adventure around underneath the trees. So the thing I love about this venue is the nature. There's sparrowhawks, buzzards, woodpeckers, and yeah, all manner of wildlife really. And if we look up here, it could well be where Mr. Fox lives. It's either Mr. Fox or Mr. Badger. You can see there, we won't get too close, but you can see from the scraping that it's being used. But yeah, just beautiful, the nature you can see if you just have an explore around your venues. This isn't the first time though that Joshua's been out on the bank with me over the festive period. We went out and caught Mr. Carp, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we'll play that little bit of footage now where we went out with Joshy on the method and we managed to get Mr. Carp on the bank, didn't we?
Yeah.
We got him in. So the rain's just stopped a little bit. We managed to get back out and gone straight back in. Had a few roach and then the float's just buried with a much better fish. And we'll just get him in and we'll take a look. And I don't know how long we've got till the next lot of rain comes in. But that's a lovely little bit of quality to the day's fishing. Shipping back, passing the pole to Joshy, and he's going to be the chief swinger in person, aren't you, matey?
Yeah.
So swing him in. There we go. And there we go, there's Mr. Fishy on the bank. You having a good time?
Yeah.
And between us, we're putting 1 or 2 fish on the bank, and along the way having plenty of fun on what has been an adventure on the bank. And this guy's going to go and join that other roach in Joshy's little keep net for a few minutes. In only maggot now, white maggot, and them tiny little nuggets of ground bait, probably every 2 or 3 casts. He said after the next fish we'd do an update on Joshy's little 10-minute keep net, and we've just hooked into a much better fish, and that is the best fish of the day so far. And we'll get him in Joshy's little 10-minute keep net and we'll take a look what we've got. So let's take a look in Joshy's 10-minute keep net. Yeah, we've got quite a variety in there, matey. We've got Mr. Rudd, we've got Mr. Perch, we've got Mr. Roach, and then we've just had that, as I was a kid we'd call that, Joshy, a slabba-dabba-doo. And I always say that effort in fishing is always rewarded, and today most definitely, sitting through that rain, starting now to get some quality fish moving, and that's a lovely skim of that. And if you start getting them regular, you'll soon have a net of fish with lovely quality. And hopefully between us, with Joshy helping me with the pole, we can just get 1 or 2 more fish on the bank. So I get it in so far, and then top kit Joshy takes over, does the important bit of landing them. 1 or 2 of these dumpy little skimmers now showing, and you can see Tiger Lee just checking it out. There's another one of those lovely skimmers. There's a few of them now coming to that ground bait and feeding that nugget probably every cast now and getting a positive result. It just shows how you can start off at the start of the day being quite easy and just easing yourself in, and then by the end of it you can be getting a bite of chuck. We're just about to call the session to an end, and we've hooked into the best fish of the day most definitely. It's just coming right on the last knockings of the session. It'd be really nice to get this one out and be a nice end to the video. A lovely way to end a winter's day on the bank. Mr. Perch, and what a lovely fish. Let's take a look at that final net and see how we've done. So the session does come to an end there now, and what a beautiful perch to have ended on. And if you look at that final net on a day that's been quite challenging with the weather, an excellent result to get so many bites. So like I say on the channel, fishing is all about the adventure, and today has most definitely been one of them. We've seen a fox on the way here, we've seen badger sets, we've had rain, and we've caught some fishes. For me though, the session I will always remember for being the one where Joshy took huge strides. As you can see on screen now, he's gone from not being able to hold the fish to right at the very end, having that fish in his hands is a huge step forward in his angling. All that remains now is for me, Josh and Tiggly, to wish us all tight lines in your own fishing, and we'll most definitely catch us all next week on the bank. Tight lines.
Tight lines.